This lesson is about the apostrophe in the Dutch written language. Hallo lieve vrienden. So, the use of the apostrophe in the Dutch language can vary from situation to situation, and in this lesson you will learn exactly when to use it and how to use it. Before I go on, if this content is valuable to you, please like and subscribe so I can continue and give you more and more of this free content. Okay, so the apostrophe is like a comma, but then somewhere like a centimeter above, right? So in which situations will you need the apostrophe in the Dutch language? So there are 3 situations where you will need the apostrophe. First is in plural, not all words that you make plural, but in certain words that you make plural, and I will explain how that works. Second is possessions, also not all the cases, but in certain ones, and I will explain how. And the third is to leave out certain letters to make the written version of what you say a little shorter and more efficient to write. All right, so there are 2 methods: excluding letters and maintaining the long sound of a word. So those are the 2 methods. So I'll give you some examples. Maintaining the long sound of the word. With that I mean with the word car, in Dutch is auto, and the plural of auto is auto's. So there you write an apostrophe and an S, because the plural is pronounced as autos, but if you would leave out the apostrophe, it would be autos. And we don't want that, because the plural should sound like autos. So we write the apostrophe to remain the O sound. So the long sound of the last letter of the word has to be maintained. And that's the purpose of the apostrophe. Another one is for possessions, right? So if I say this is Anna's book, dit is Anna's boek. So the name Anna in Dutch is pronounced as Anna. So the last letter, the last sound of the name is A, Anna. So if it's her book, then you would say Anna's book. But if we would leave out the apostrophe, it will be Anna's book, and that's incorrect. So that's why the apostrophe is written. If the name would not have been Anna, but Anne, because that's also a common name, then the last sound is not a long sound. So it's a short Anne. So if it's Anne's book, then you don't write the apostrophe, because we don't have to make the long sound maintaining, right? So because it isn't a long sound, the last letter. Another example, piano in plural is pianos, because the last letter, the last sound of the word piano is a long sound, piano. So that's why we write the apostrophe and then an S to preserve the pronunciation of the O sound. Another example, a photograph, that is photo. Plural is photos. I have several photos here. Ik heb meerdere foto's hier. Again, the same explanation. The last sound of the word photo is O, a long sound. So if we want to make it plural, we have to write the apostrophe. This also works for acronyms, like the car brand BMW. In Dutch, that is BMW. So the W is pronounced as W, and that sounds like the long E sound, right? So A. So if I would have 2 BMW's, then I would say, ik heb 2 BMW's. And because W ends with a long E sound, long A sound, I have to write the apostrophe S. Same counts for if I would say the word apple is written with 2 P's. Het woord appel wordt geschreven met 2 P's. Right, so I write P and then apostrophe S because I pronounce the letter P as P. So I want to maintain the A sound, so I write the apostrophe S. Then another example, that is to leave out letters. This is also done many times in the English language. An example would be Old MacDonald, right? So the first word old is not written as old, but ol with an apostrophe, right? So in Dutch we also have that. Specifically, you see that often if you say this evening or in the evening is written as 's'avonds, because originally in the place of the apostrophe would be the letters DE, because fully written out would be des avonds. But that's ancient Dutch, so we don't write or say that anymore like that. So we currently write it as 's'avonds. Same as in the afternoon, that is 'smiddags, because originally that was des middags. In the morning, also, that is 's ochtends. Originally that was des ochtends, but we'll leave out the first 2 letters and place an apostrophe there. And the final rule that I want to explain to you is also to leave out letters. So if I would say we are going with the 4 of us, then we would say that as we gaan met z'n vieren. So z'n is originally zijn. We gaan met zijn vieren. So instead of the IJ, we write the apostrophe and we pronounce it as z'n, not zijn. Also, and this is the final example I'm giving you, if you are writing city names or place names and those are really long names and you are writing them out and you want to be brief about it, then you can place the apostrophe because people will still know what you're talking about. Like Amsterdam is often written as A apostrophe dam. Same as Rotterdam, R apostrophe dam. And this happens for many of those long city names where you just place the apostrophe to make it shorter and you're much faster in writing it. All right. If you have something to add or to ask, leave a comment below. Keep practicing and I'll see you in the next lesson.